I'm Hassanel, and this is Nightline. The top stories. Budi 95. Deputy Minister denies announcing 150-litre limit as potential government policy. Pangkor boat disaster. Death toll rises to 7. 7 others still missing. Good morning. Deputy Finance Minister Liew has denied announcing a 150-litre monthly limit for Budi 95 as a potential government policy. He stressed that the remarks he made earlier on Tuesday had been inaccurately reported. In his social media post, Liew expressed regret that his statements at an event in the capital earlier on Tuesday had been reported out of context. He noted that he had not made any new announcements on behalf of the government. Furthermore, he never announced that a 150-litre limit would potentially become government policy. Liew said what he actually meant was that Budi 95 is a good mechanism that provides comprehensive data on the daily travel patterns of the people. He acknowledged that the inaccurate reports triggered various reactions from netizens on social media. He further emphasized that the government's priority is to ensure the country has sufficient petrol supply for the long term. Society, Liew added, also plays an important role in supporting efforts to save petrol consumption. The Health Ministry will consider activating additional hantavirus infection tracking features via the MySejahtera application, should the situation require it. The ministry said so far the situation remains under control and there is no indication of the virus spreading to this region. Deputy Health Minister Datuk Hanifah Hajar Taib said the additional feature will allow users to obtain the latest information on detecting the infectious disease more easily and in real time.
Dari segi pengalaman kita selepas COVID, kita harus berwaspada lebih tahap yang tinggi dan kita tak mahu yang itu akan merebak ke mana-mana.
She was met after attending the national level celebration of International Nurses Day in Putrajaya. Hanifah said the ministry is in close contact with the World Health Organization on current developments regarding the spread of the virus. According to international media reports, European countries are increasing monitoring and isolation measures following an outbreak of hantavirus linked to the cruise ship MV Hondius. Malaysia and China have allocated over 500 million ringgit to train technical and vocational education and training TVET students through the Malaysia-China Institute. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the training will focus on the electric vehicle sector, battery technology and renewable energy.
Bukan hanya CKD, tetapi juga pengeluaran part dan juga peralatan yang diperlukan oleh industri di China. Bukan hanya kepada EV cars tetapi produk-produk yang lain. Bagi kita kerjasama ini lebih luas.
Zahid spoke to the media at the Malaysia-China Forum on electric vehicles, batteries, and the development of new skilled talent and innovation on Tuesday. He added that the Malaysia-China Institute has already received new EVs to be used for teaching TVET students and that more equipment will be delivered in the future. The Defence Ministry has confirmed that the freeze on procurement funds for Malaysian Armed Forces or MAF assets has been lifted following restructuring measures implemented to ensure there are no issues involving leakages or misuse of funds. Defence Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Khalid Nordin said all military asset procurement matters are now proceeding as planned.
Dah tak ada lagi pembekuan kerana kita telah lakukan penstrukturan yang boleh memastikan tidak ada ketirisan, tidak ada kebocoran dan sebagainya. Maka sekarang ni semua perolehan balik ke keadaan biasa tetapi dengan perubahan-perubahan yang kita perkenalkan.
Previously, he said MINDEF was discussing the status of the frozen MAF procurement funds with the Finance Ministry to ensure that critical operations and preparedness are not affected. On January 16th, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim ordered all procurement decisions involving the MAF and Royal Malaysian Police linked to corruption issues to be temporarily frozen until procurement procedures were fully complied with. The freeze followed controversies involving alleged corruption and abuse of power linked to several former top MAF leaders. Rescuers have recovered 3 more bodies from a boat that capsized off the waters of Pulau Pangkor in Perak, bringing the death toll to 7. The victims are believed to be among the boat's passengers, who were suspected to be undocumented immigrants. They were found floating about 20 nautical miles from the incident site at around 6:09 p.m. on Tuesday by a vessel from the Royal Malaysian Navy. The bodies were then handed over to the police for further action. So far, the identity of the 3 bodies have yet to be determined. The boat, which was carrying 37 undocumented Indonesians, was reported to have sunk at about 5:30 a.m. on Monday. The boat is believed to have departed from Kisaran, Indonesia on May 9th and was bound for various destinations in Malaysia. 23 victims have been rescued, while another 7 still missing. Search and rescue operations will resume on Wednesday. Police are investigating allegations that a drug trafficking network in Langkawi is being led by a police officer. Inspector General of Police Datuk Sri Khalid Ismail said investigations will be carried out in accordance with legal provisions.
Kita masih lagi dalam siasatan. Saya perlu pastikan siapakah yang terlibat, individu yang berkaitan atau kumpulan-kumpulan mana yang jadi kita tak dapat nak buat sementara.
The nation's top cop said this after the launch of a special police dialogue in the federal capital. He said there will be no compromise if any police personnel is involved in criminal activities. A new organized drug trafficking network reportedly emerged in Langkawi following the death of a so-called local drug lord, Mat Nahar, about 6 years ago. The network is allegedly headed by a police officer identified as Mr. A, with several individuals formerly linked to Mat Nahar's syndicate said to have joined the new operation. Tamil Nadu's new Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay says he's committed to building stronger ties with Malaysia. The 51-year-old popular Tamil movie star turned politician said he was deeply honored by the warm congratulatory message from Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. In a social media post on Tuesday, Vijay thanked Anwar for the gracious gesture, adding that he's committed to enhancing the bond of friendship between Tamil Nadu and Malaysia. Anwar, through his social media posting earlier, congratulated the new Chief Minister and commended his electoral performance. The Prime Minister said the people of Tamil Nadu have now entered Vijay with a responsibility far greater than any role performed on screen. Anwar also stressed that Malaysia and Tamil Nadu share deep historical and cultural ties across generations, adding that he looks forward to working closely with Vijay in the years ahead. Vijay was sworn in as the Southern Indian State's Chief Minister on Sunday, following his Tamilaga Vetri Kajagam or TVK party's victory in last month's state elections. Tamil Nadu has long seen cinema mixing with power, and Vijay has followed in the footsteps of film stars M.G. Ramachandran and his successor J. Jayalalalitha, who led the state for decades. The outcome of the elections showed Vijay's immense popularity among Tamil Nadu's youth and women. Media Prima Berhad, MPB and the Malacca State Government have strengthened their strategic cooperation as part of efforts to promote the state as a tourist destination. Malacca State Secretary Dato' Azhar Arshad said partnerships with major players such as MPB enable the wider promotion and marketing of the state's diverse tourism attractions.
Di bawah kepimpinan yang amat berhormat Ketua Menteri Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Utama Dr. Rauf Yusof, di mana kita memang sentiasa mengadakan banyak program supaya menjemput seluruh rakyat dari dalam dan luar negara datang ke Melaka untuk menggiatkan lagi, merancangkan lagi program-program pelancongan.
Azhar said this on Tuesday after visiting Balai Berita Bangsar with the Melaka branch of the Association of Wives and Women Civil Servants. Also present were Media Prima Berhad Group Chairman Datuk Sri Dr. Syed Hussein Al-Junid, Media Prima Omnia Chief Executive Officer Datuk Muhammad Effendi Omar, as well as News and Current Affairs Television Networks Group Editor Azhari Muhyiddin. The government will ensure that the 149 billion ringgit in data center investment commitments pledged by investors are fully realized. Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said total investments announced to the government stand at 280 billion ringgit, but only about 131 billion ringgit have been realized so far.
So this gap ni, I think we need to relook into the real serious player or co-locator or hyperscaler yang really want to be here and demand that kind of security location. You know, most of the time they need 3 location in order to protect the security of the place where they operate. So these are the issues yang kita akan handle dan kita akan capture this investment.
Johari added that the Data Center Task Force has introduced guidelines to promote the sustainable development of data centers. As of December 2025, there are 47 operational data centers in Malaysia, while 9 more facilities are still under construction. Old and vacant office buildings should be converted into residential units to help address rising living costs and reduce daily commuting time between home and workplaces. Deputy Finance Minister Liew said this approach has already been implemented in several developed countries in Europe, as well as the United States, following shifts in commercial building usage patterns.
Many inner city offices in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur particularly, are empty, which I hope to see many of these empty buildings retrofitted to become housing for Malaysians.
Liew urged property developers not to focus solely on profit, but to support the national economic agenda and the well-being of the people. He said when people are able to enjoy better urban living with lower cost pressures, it will contribute to a more prosperous society and nation. The Indonesian rupiah plummeted to a historic low of 75,500 against the US dollar on Tuesday, marking its weakest level on record. The currency has declined nearly 7% since the conflict in West Asia began in late February. The sharp depreciation has raised concerns over increasing inflationary pressures and higher import costs, which could strain businesses that rely on foreign currency transactions and imported raw materials. Seven-year-old girl loses her leg and crash. The details after this breather.
Michelin innovates through cutting-edge tests, from microscopic compounds to extreme simulated road conditions, so you can trust your tires for longer. Michelin, motion for life.
Menarik di MHI minggu ini.
Daya, adab dan adat kena seiring dapat kekalkan keindahan budaya kita.
Barulah Melayu tak hilang di dunia. Fatri, kalau awak suka makan pedas tak?
Pedas, pedas yang manja je.
Hehehe, jangan manja-manja kat sini. Nanti ada yang cemburu buta.
Kalau jalan kaki di KL, ada CCTV semuanya demi keselamatan.
Harga barang naik, kos sara hidup meningkat. Apa yang perlu kita anda tahu?
Isnin hingga Jumaat.
Hanya di TV3 dan tonton.
4 beranak ditemui mati mengerikan dengan seorang putus kepala, 2 lagi putus tangan dan seorang dengan pisau tercacak di dada.
Kita nak cari tangan ni dengan kepala. Tak jumpa. Tangan jumpa, tapi kepala tidak jumpa.
Dia harus menyelamatkan ahli keluarganya untuk dihantar ke syurga dengan membunuh ahli keluarganya.
Ada tanah perkuburan di situ, tertuduh telah menanam kepada ayahnya.
Bila air mula naik, jangan tunggu. Selamatkan diri dan keluarga dulu. Barang boleh diganti, nyawa tak.
Peka dengan amaran manja dari sumber rasmi. Patuh dengan arahan pihak berkuasa. Kalau diarahkan pindah, pindahlah segera. Kalau nampak air, jangan redah walaupun nampak cetek.
Sebelum keluar, pastikan semua dokumen disimpan. IC, sijil lahir dan buku akaun. Simpan semua dalam plastik kedap air.
Lepas banjir, jangan masuk rumah terus. Pastikan elektrik diputuskan dan kawasan selamat. Utamakan keselamatan, bukan harta benda.
Peka,
bersedia
dan patuh.
Welcome back. A 7-year-old girl had to have her leg amputated after she was involved in a 2-vehicle accident in Kelantan on Monday. Doctors made the decision to proceed with the amputation to prevent serious complications from the injuries sustained by the victim. Mas Siti Rosnani Rosli's right leg had to be severed after doctors found blood clots and dead tissue in the affected leg. According to her uncle, Mas Siti Rosnani is currently being treated at the intensive care unit of the USM Specialist Hospital in Kubang Kerian. Mas Siti Rosnani was traveling to school with 3 of her cousins when the motorcycle they were riding on collided with a car coming from the opposite direction. The crash also left one of her cousins, 14-year-old Muhammad Muskir Rosli, with a shattered thigh bone in his right leg. Muhammad Muskir underwent surgery at Hospital Sultan Ismail Petra in Kuala Krai on Tuesday. 2 other victims, Muhammad Hakikat Abdul Rahman and Muhammad Zulhakif Muhammad Zulkifli, aged 9 and 12, are in stable condition and receiving treatment at the same hospital. The Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court has acquitted independent preacher Muhammad Fatih Naim Mazlam of raping a teenage girl. Judge Tasnim Abu Bakar made the ruling after the prosecution failed to establish a prima facie case against the accused at the end of the case. In its decision, the court said it found the alleged victim's testimony to be unreliable. The ruling was made after the court heard, examined, and considered the testimony of 11 prosecution witnesses. Tasnim said the defense's application to initiate impeachment proceedings was made after inconsistencies were identified in the victim's testimony during examination in chief in a separate trial at the Klang Sessions Court involving similar charges. On December 1st, 2022, Fatih Naim was charged with raping the 14-year-old at a hotel in December 2021. On November 29th the same year, Fatih was also accused with 9 counts of rape, sexual assault, and sexual intercourse with an object involving the same girl. He was sentenced to 15 years jail and 3 strokes of the cane after he was found guilty of 2 rape charges and 1 sexual assault charge last year. In Johor, a suspected gang member and 2 others have been charged at the Tangka Magistrates Court with hacking a man to death using machetes in public. 24-year-old Pan Wei Siang, Henry Lau Yisheng, 26, and Tan Ah Chai, 32, were accused of murdering Tong Wei Sheng, 38, in Sungai Mati, Tangka, on the evening of March 13th. They are alleged to have committed the offence with another man who remains at large. The offence was framed under the Penal Code, which carries the death penalty or a maximum jail term of 40 years and up to 12 strokes of the cane upon conviction. No plea was recorded as the case falls under the High Court's jurisdiction. No bail was offered as the charge is non-bailable. The court set July 14th for the next mention. Nine killed in Pakistan market blast. The details when Nightline returns.
Kau nak bunuh aku? Macam mana kau bunuh sendiri? Pakai ilmu hitam kau tu? Kau nak anak kau mati. Kau tak nak apa-apa dari rumah ni. Tapi rumah ni nak sesuatu dari kau.
Empat beranak ditemui mati mengerikan dengan seorang putus kepala, dua lagi putus tangan dan seorang dengan pisau tercacak di dada.
Kita nak cari tangan ni dengan kepala. Tak jumpa. Tangan jumpa. Tapi kepala tidak jumpa.
Dia harus menyelamatkan ahli keluarganya untuk dihantar ke syurga dengan membunuh ahli keluarganya.
Ada tanah perkuburan di situ, tertuduh telah menanam kepala ayahnya.
For too long, women have been told to hold back. But here at Women Talk, we're not doing that. It's where real conversations happen. And nothing is off limits. Simple? Not necessarily. Honest? Most definitely. I'm Dinah Danielle.
I'm Nadia Hayes.
Catch us on Women Talk.
Saturdays, 5 p.m. Only on TVET.
Stream now on Tonton. Menarik di MHI minggu ini.
Dayah, adab dan adat kena seiring dapat kekalkan keindahan budaya kita.
Barulah Melayu tak hilang di dunia. Fatri, kalau awak suka makan pedas tak?
Pedas, pedas yang manja je.
Hehehe, jangan manja-manja kat sini. Nanti ada yang cemburu buta.
Kalau jalan kaki di KL, ada CCTV semuanya demi keselamatan.
Harga barang naik, kos sara hidup meningkat. Apa yang perlu kita ambil tahu?
Isnin hingga Jumaat.
Hanya di TV3 dan Tonton.
On to the foreign front. Iran's chief negotiator on Tuesday issued an ultimatum to the United States to accept the conditions in Tehran's 14-point proposal for peace in the West Asia war or face failure. Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said Washington had to accept Tehran's rights if it wanted to end more than 2 months of conflict, as peace talks remain deadlocked after an initial round failed to produce a breakthrough last month. He said the only viable course of action was to recognize the rights of the Iranian people as outlined in the 14-point proposal, stressing that any other approach would be ineffective and lead to repeated failures. Iran has refused to back down in its war with Washington, with military officials warning they're prepared to respond to any renewed U.S. attack. Earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump said the ceasefire with Iran is on life support and that he's considering restarting U.S. Navy military escorts of ships through the Strait of Hormuz in an attempt to end the Iranian blockade of the vital waterway. Referring to the latest proposal, Trump said the chances of a ceasefire were at their weakest after reviewing what he described as a piece of garbage submitted to the U.S.
It's unbelievably weak, I would say. I would call it the weakest right now. After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said, I'm not going to waste my time reading it. I would say it's one of the weakest right now. It's on life support.
This comes a day after Iran presented its conditions to end the war and reopen the Strait of Hormuz in a counter-proposal to the U.S., which Trump rejected as totally unacceptable. Meanwhile, at least 6 people were killed and 7 others injured in an overnight Israeli airstrike on a residential house in the southern Lebanese town of Kfar Dunin. Lebanon state media also reported that Israeli artillery shelling targeted the outskirts of the towns of Mansouri and Majdal Zun at dawn. The Zionist military continues to carry out daily strikes in Lebanon and exchange fire with the Lebanese group Hezbollah, despite a ceasefire announced on April 17th. The head of the World Health Organization has told countries to prepare for more hantavirus cases after the outbreak on board the MV Hondias. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus urged countries to follow the WHO's advice and recommendations, which include a 42-day quarantine and constant monitoring of high-risk contacts. Ghebreyesus' statement came as the final 2 planes carrying 28 passengers from the cruise ship linked to the hantavirus outbreak landed at Eindhoven Airport in the Netherlands on Tuesday. The ship is now sailing back to port in Rotterdam with a crew of 25, as well as a doctor and nurse. So far, 9 cases have been reported. Among them were a French woman and a U.S. national who tested positive after being evacuated from the ship. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer defied calls to resign on Tuesday, telling ministers he would get on with governing, despite a destabilizing 48 hours of growing calls to set out a timetable for his departure after an election drubbing. At a meeting with his cabinet ministers, Starmer, who has been in office for less than 2 years, reiterated that while he accepted responsibility for one of the Labour Party's worst election defeats, there had been no formal move to trigger a leadership contest. Earlier, more than 80 Labour MPs went public to urge him to set a resignation date to allow the party to install a new leader in an orderly transition. Separately, a junior minister resigned after several ministerial aides also left the government.
Is this the change you promised?
At least 9 people were killed and over 30 others injured in an explosion at a marketplace in northwestern Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province on Tuesday. The blast occurred in the town of Sarai Naurang in Laki Marwat district. Officials said the casualties include 2 police personnel, while at least 35 injured victims are being treated in nearby hospitals. Security forces have sealed off the area and launched an investigation. Authorities have not confirmed the cause of the explosion, but suspect that explosive material was planted in a loader rickshaw. No group has claimed responsibility so far. Switching to sports badminton, the 2026 Thailand Open. The Super 500 tournament is proving to be a happy hunting ground once again for Lee Zijia, as the independent men's singles shuttler marched into the main draw in convincing fashion in Bangkok on Tuesday. The world number 67 secured his spot after defeating Taiwan's world number 58, Liew Fu, 21-16, 21-13 in just 35 minutes in the second round of qualifying. Awaiting Zijia in the first round is Israel's Daniel Dubovenko. In the men's doubles action, Malaysia continued their momentum with impressive results after Brian Jeremy Gunting and Muhammad Haikal forged a 22-21, 21-13 victory against Hong Kong's Lun Chun-Wai and Hong Kei-chun in the first round. The duo will face an uphill battle in the next round against India's world number 4 pair Satwik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty. Also through to the men's doubles second round were Tan Wee Kyong and Nur Muhammad Azreen Ayub, who overcame Scotland's Adam Pringle and Alexander Dunn 21-11, 21-15. Up next, they will play Thailand's Piratchai Sukpun and Pakkapuan Tirarat Sakul. On to gymnastics, the 2026 FIG World Challenge Cup. Malaysian artistic gymnastics marked a historic milestone after national gymnast Ng Chun Wen won the country's first ever gold medal in the vault event at a competition in Varna, Bulgaria. In the final, Chun Chen scored 14.183 points to edge Bulgaria's Daniel Trifonov, who finished just 0.10 points behind to take silver. The bronze medal went to Hungary's Botond Molnar, who recorded 14.049 points. The victory in Bulgaria provides a major boost for Chun Chen and the national squad ahead of upcoming major competitions like the Asian Championships, Commonwealth Games, and Asian Games. Amid the ruins of destroyed buildings and makeshift tents sheltering displaced families, Gazans gathered together in a rare moment of celebration to take part in a mass wedding for Palestinian brides and grooms. Let's take a look at the scenes as we wrap this edition of Nightline. With that, I'm Hassanel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.